At the end of the last section, we had set up our tile set and we had added physics to all of our tiles. So our player will now be able to walk on the tiles and will be able to collide with them. So that's good. What we're going to do in this section is enable auto tiling using terrains. If you remember, we still in select mode, we've already looked at terrains a little bit. If you select a tile and you go into terrains, you can add it to a terrain set and a terrain. If I do that, I'm going to do this for a demo. If I add it to a terrain and it's added it to terrain set 0, which is our only terrain, we then get this list of choices, and we need to use this list of choices to specify where this tile is in relation to other tiles, okay? And basically it's asking us, is there, for example, is there a tile to the right side of this? And it is, so we change that to 0, and it puts a little dot to the right side. It says, is there a tile to the bottom right? There is, so we set that to 0. It puts a little dot there. Is there a tile to the exact bottom? Yes, it puts a little dot there. So there has to be a better way of doing this, right, than just going through every single individual tile. We can't select the lot and just press a button like we did with physics, because each tile is unique in terms of where it sits in the tile set with relation to other tiles. So we can't do that, but luckily we have another tool which can come to our rescue, which is this tool up here, which is Paint. I'm going to click on Paint. Paint enables us, it's not the same as in the tile map, painting the tiles on the screen. Paint enables us to paint attributes onto our tile set here, okay? So it is a really good way of configuring our tile set quickly. If I expand this menu, you can see we can even use Paint to paint a physics layer onto our tile set. So we could use Paint if we wanted to put the physics layer on the tiles, but we've already done that, so we don't need to. As it shows us here, we already have the physics layer, so that's good. What I want is terrains, so I click on terrain. And what we can do now is we can add each tile to our terrain set, which will enable auto tiling simply by painting it. I like to do this in 2 stages. I like to add it to the terrain set first, and then I like to configure my little dots which map where each tile goes in the auto tile. So first, I'm going to click on here. It says no terrains. I only have one choice, which is terrain set 0. So I click on terrain set 0. That's the only terrain set we've set up. And now I click and drag, and you'll see I can paint on each tile the value of terrain set 0. So I'm basically, by doing this painting, adding each tile to terrain set 0, which means it can be used for auto tiling with terrain set 0. That's good. Okay, second part of the job is to do those little dots that we did before. And because of painting, we can just paint the little dots on. So I click ground because that's the name of our tile set. And now I can set about doing the little dots. So remember, the theory is every single tile on here has a dot in the middle. Okay, that dot represents the actual tile. The dots around the outside represent whether or not there is a tile in that position relative to the current tile that we're working on. So this one here in the middle is our tile, and we add dots around the side to represent whether tiles are there or not in the tile set. Best thing to do is just to show you by example. So this one is in the middle and we have a tile at every corner and every side. So it's really easy. We just put a dot at every corner and every side. Excellent. This tile has a tile to the bottom, a tile to the bottom side, a tile to the bottom side, a tile to the side. This is the middle bit that represents our tile, so we put that in. And it does have a tile to the side, so we put that in here. You'll notice we've got border at the top, so we can't put a tile over here because it will be on the grass. So no dots there. And that reveals to us a rule which we can follow to make this really, really easy to think through. If there is a border, so we've got the grass at the top, we've got the walls at the side, and over here we've got little tiny bits of border. If there is anything like that, you can't put a dot, okay? Putting a dot there is wrong. Putting a dot there is wrong. I'm just control clicking to remove the dots. Putting a dot there is wrong. But putting a dot here is correct. Putting a dot here is correct. Putting a dot here is correct. And that's the only rule you need to bear in mind, okay? If the dot overlaps with a border, you can't put a dot. Everywhere else, there needs to be a dot. And that should be all you need to know in order to work out whether you need to put a dot in any of these tiles or not. An extra bit of information that can also help you is the fact that most tile sets are configured to an agreed pattern. They all follow the same layout, okay? Maybe there are one or two different ways of doing it, but they are all produced to a consistent pattern generally. It helps to know the theory for when you get one that isn't, but by and large, they all follow an agreed layout. This tile set was made in Tilesetter, as per what we covered in the previous tutorial on this channel, and Tilesetter always exports tile sets in the same way. So even without knowing the rule about not putting a dot on a border, but putting a dot where there isn't a border, it's even simpler than that. I have included a PNG with the bit mask in the tileset folder, but we don't want to open it in Godot. We want to go back into our file system. So our file system for the game, into tileset, and just open the PNG. It's called bitmask. We'll wait for that to happen. Okay, so then you can use this bitmask just to help you make sure you've got the right layout. As you can see, it's pretty simple in this section, pretty simple in that section. Gets a little bit awkward over here, but if you just remember, you put a dot where there isn't a border, and you can see here that we've had to draw around these little bits of border because no dots go there. Okay, so hopefully one way or the other, you can complete your bit mask. I'm going to do it now. Feel free to follow along with me. Right. So this is just a big square. I just fill that in. You can see here, we've got border there, so we can't do one. We've got walls on each side, so we can't do one. So it's just a straight line down the middle. And these tiles, indeed, are to represent if you draw a single column of tiles. This one is to go on its own, so literally nothing around it. So you just have the tile in the middle, nothing around it. You can see we've got border and we've got grass at the top. This one is like this one, apart from it's horizontal. So we can't do one there because there's a wall, can't do one there because there's a wall, grass at the top, wall at the bottom, so we just go down the middle. This one, again, we need a big square. And we've either got grass or wall around the sides, so we can't do a dot round here. Apart from that, we just fill in the spaces where there isn't one of these little shapes. Oh, I've done it wrong. Get rid of that one. Just control click if you make a mistake, yeah? So that's good. Okay, what about here? Well, I can't draw one there because we have a wall, but I can do one here. I go along to the end. Again, same thing, there's a wall here, so I can't draw one there. And I've got these little bits here, which I have to avoid. So I'll avoid those. That looks good. Here, there's something in each corner, so I just have to draw a little cross. That's wrong, so I'll just remove that. There's a wall there, so I draw a line. I can go right to the end, and then there's a few gaps I have to fill in here. A few gaps here. Oh, there's not a wall there. No, I was right. Look, that is the wall for this tile, so I can draw one there. And I'm just going along the rows. Do one there, do one there, do one there. I'm just going along the rows, filling in where there isn't something drawn. And I get a pattern like that. I think that's actually correct. Let me check it to my photo or my PNG. That looks good. I would say that looks good. I would say that looks correct. So you should have your little photo or your PNG in the assets folder. If not, it will be worthwhile taking a screenshot of this because, as I say, certainly a tile set made in Tilesetter will always be configured to this format, and pretty much throughout the industry there is an agreed way to do PNGs for tile sets. So even if you don't get any of the theory at all, you've just got to learn this pattern and you are good to go. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to get rid of that. And I think we can test our level. So, put that down there. Clicking on here to retract my menu, my screen here. And I'm back in my level. So what I have to do now is click over here. We're currently in tile set, so I click over here into tilemap. And I go over here into terrains. And now I select ground. And these are my tiles, and I just start drawing. Look at that. I'm not going to draw a complete level because obviously that would take too much time. But if you want to spend some time designing out your level 2, please feel free to do that. Have a little test that you can do all the combinations though. So I should be able to do just one. I can. I should be able to do a vertical platform. I can. I should be able to do a horizontal platform. I can. And then just draw some kind of random shapes, just to make sure you can do everything and it's consistent. I'm going to do a wall at the end. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to jump up there, so I'll just put that there. Like that. All right. That looks good. Let's test. So I click the clapperboard just to play this level, and we'll see how we do. So first of all, collision works because we're walking on the tile sets. That's my exit portal there. I haven't moved it, so that's just part of the default scene. Can I get up there? No, I immediately die and fall out of the world. All right, let's do some more auto tiling. Tile map, round. Put another one there. All right, try again. Looks good. All I'm really checking is that the physics works and that I can draw the tiles without it looking weird. And I think that is a yes to both things. I've trapped myself at the end of the level there. Okay, so just a few things. If your tiles aren't drawing like that, it will almost definitely be due to the fact that you have this bitmask set up wrong. So just refer back to the bitmask PNG and make sure that your bitmask is the same as the PNG. And so long as it is, your tile map should work fine. And I'm sure you can appreciate at this point how much time it saves using a tile map when it comes to drawing a new level. What we need to do before we finish is to save our tile set as its own unique resource, because in subsequent sections of the game, in subsequent levels, we don't want to have to do all this setting up again, and we won't need to do that if we save it. So just remember to save it. So we go into tile set, and we want to go to save, and let's just call it tile map ground. .tres. So feel free now to start working on level 2. Draw it out, design a good and interesting level for your player, and I will see you in the next section. Job done.